What if everything in your life was going perfectly, and then it all changed in just one moment? What if the happiness you felt today was replaced by a nightmare you never saw coming? October was supposed to be a month of relief. A month of celebration. After months of grueling chemo and radiation, my mom was finally cancer-free. I still remember the way she smiled when the doctor gave her the news. It was the kind of smile I hadn't seen in a long time, the kind that made me believe that maybe, just maybe, the worst was behind us. For months, I had watched her fight. The endless hospital visits, the days when she could barely get out of bed, the moments when I saw the pain in her eyes even though she tried to hide it. But now, it was over. She had won. And I thought we could finally move on. But life has a strange way of surprising you. Just 3 months later, in January, I found myself sitting in a cold doctor's office, staring at a report I didn't understand. The doctor was talking, but my mind had already shut down. One word echoed in my head: cancer. It didn't feel real. It didn't make sense. My mom had just beaten this. We had just escaped this nightmare. And now, here I was, being told that I had bladder cancer. It felt like the universe was playing a cruel joke on me. At first, I didn't know how to react. Should I cry? Should I scream? Should I act strong? I looked at the doctor, trying to focus, trying to make sense of what was happening. But all I could think about was how quickly life can turn. One moment, you're celebrating. The next, you're wondering how much time you have left. The next few weeks were a blur. Endless tests, sleepless nights, and a fear so deep that I couldn't even put it into words. But I refused to break. I had seen my mom fight, and now it was my turn. In February, I had my first surgery. The doctors told me they had removed as much of the cancer as they could. But it wasn't over yet. I still needed more surgeries and more treatments. The road ahead was long. And then, something completely unexpected happened. In March, right in the middle of all this chaos, my boss called me into his office. I had barely been keeping up with work. I was exhausted, drained, and distracted. He handed me a letter. I opened the letter with the fear that something bad would happen. But instead, I opened the letter and saw something I never expected: a promotion. And not just any promotion. A 30% raise. I stared at the paper in disbelief. How? Why? How could my life be falling apart and coming together at the same time? It didn't make sense. But I wasn't about to question it. It was a rare moment of good news in a year that had been filled with nothing but fear and pain. April came, and I had my second surgery. It felt like I was living in hospitals. The smell of antiseptic, the sound of machines beeping, the feeling of waking up after surgery with that heavy fog in my head, it had all become normal. June arrived, and I had my third surgery. By now, I was so used to the process that I didn't even feel nervous anymore. I was just tired. But there was still more to do. More treatment. More waiting. More hoping that, this time, it would be enough. And then, in August, I finally heard the words I had been waiting for. Your cancer is gone. I should have felt relieved. I should have been overwhelmed with joy. And I was, at least for a moment. But something inside me had changed. The past year had shown me how fragile everything was. One moment, you're on top of the world. The next, you're fighting for your life. It made me realize something important: happiness isn't permanent. But neither is pain. Later that month, something else happened that I never expected. My longtime partner proposed to me. I should have been over the moon. And I was. But deep down, I knew, life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It just happens. One day, you're celebrating. The next, you're fighting. And the day after that, you're celebrating again. This journey taught me something I will never forget: you can't predict the bad days. You can't control when life will throw you into a storm. But you can decide how you live in the moments in between. So now, I choose to live differently. Not waiting for the next disaster. Not fearing the next storm. But embracing every single moment while I have it. Because the truth is, you never know when life will flip again. Did you enjoy this story? The next one will take you on an even more emotional journey. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss it. And let us know in the comments, have you ever had a moment in life where everything changed in an instant? We'd love to hear your story.